Hello everybody, welcome to the walkthrough for section 1.3.2, the OnShape portion of the hole notations assignment. I have open right now the assignment here. Again, if you have not viewed these videos, please go back and view my videos. Make sure you watch them, try it on your own before you watch this one. This is the walkthrough. If you follow these instructions directly, if I've sent you this link, it's not going to be an A, it's going to be like a B, okay? Just because you're following, I'm walking you through it, okay? And that's all right. If that's what we need to do, that's what we need to do. So this is all the information from Canvas. I have also OnShape open, and I also have this PDF that was linked right here about hole notes that has at the bottom the 3 holes that we're going to build today in OnShape. And we're going to basically build what this would have been, but like without the slice part of it. We don't need to slice it. Although if you'd like to go for that, that is okay. That is your creativity, your process. I'm just checking to make sure you've done the holes correctly and I can see them and they're not running into each other or anything weird. All right. There they are. There's hole A, hole B, hole C. All the information is there. I don't have the hole notations I just wrote out by hand because it's not good. But let me do this. Let me show you what I'm going to say. In this video, I believe what I was telling y'all to do is it's best to make like a rectangle and extrude that, make a box. So let's make a box. The deepest hole I have is, I want to say 1.75 inches, no, 2.5. So I need to have at least 3 inches high. Otherwise my holes will go through and they're not supposed to. Okay, so let's do a sketch. Anytime you got to make something in OnShape, 99% of the time you're starting with a sketch. It's a 2D sketch. We got to pick a sketch plane. I'm going to pick top, and so I can see what I'm doing. I'm going to push N on my keyboard, and that'll make it pop to normal, so we can see what we're doing straight on. I'm going to go ahead and use center point rectangle, because that way it's centered, and that way I can put a bunch of, when I make the holes, I can center them on this block. And I'm going to make it, let's see, 2 inches, no, 3 inches, no, 4 inches long, 2 inches tall, centered at the origin. That should make it fully constrained. Green check mark. If I click on it, hit extrude, make it 3 inches. You know, I'll make it, 3 inches high. And if I look at it from the angle, there's the block. Cool. All right, I'm going to want to sketch some vertices. The hole tool, if you put your mouse over it, says create simple or countersink or counterbore holes at parts in parts at multiple points in the sketch. Select your hole style, specify the sizes, select the end condition, select the point where you want to create the hole, or make connectors if there's mate connectors, and when required you need to select the part to contain the hole. That is something that you don't need to worry about in this particular assignment. So we've got to make some dots. I'm going to put 3 points on the top. I'm going to hit N so I can see it. I selected that top already, so when I go to hit sketch, it'll say it's going to be on the face of extrude 1. So it's going to live up top there. Okay, put N again. I'm going to put these points down. This point right here, I'm going to put in the center, and I'm going to try to like evenly space one here and one here. Let's do a dimension. I'm going to dimension that hole to that hole, or that center point to that center point to be exactly 1 inch. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side from hole, or from dot to dot, exactly 1 inch. That way everything's sort of spaced out exactly the same. And they shouldn't bump into each other. Let's see, this is 1 inch, so that's a ½ inch over. This guy doesn't have a special feature. If I put the one that's simple in the middle, then nothing should overlap. I should be perfectly fine. Green check mark. All right, now the first time I use one of these features when I make something, the rest of them are going to disappear because it automatically hides it. Like you notice how I extruded up my rectangle, I can no longer see sketch 1. If I look on the left side, it's got this eyeball over it. I cannot see that rectangle down there. If I looked, I can't tell how big it is just by looking at this the way it is. If I unhide it, actually you can't really tell because it's just a rectangle. Let me rehide that. I'll show you when I make a hole over here. All right. So let's go with the first one. Make this one the countersink. Hole A is a countersink. So let's go ahead and grab the hole tool, and we're going to click on this vertex, so that this point, so that we use that to make the hole. If you look what's going on so far, it's just done a hole all the way through. That's because it's already automatically selected something based on the last thing that I did, and I don't know what the last thing I did was. Probably an example from this section. I need a countersink. That's the one with the V. And if you're not sure, if you can't remember, when I hit countersink, look, I've got this sort of angled at the top and these two little images, and if I look at it, it's got like a cone shape in there. If I were to pick the counter bore, it would have that sort of field goal shape to the top feature, and you can see it's a cylinder that's been dug out like that. So let's look at countersink. What do I need to have? I need to have, the first thing here is it's hard to see. Let me see if I can zoom in. Yeah, I can zoom in. Look at that. All right. It says through. That's the first thing, the termination. It's automatically picked through. You might have blind automatically picked. Blind means that you're going to be given this field for putting a depth in. I'm not going to put a depth in. I'm going to make it through because remember, this one went all the way through back here. I have the diameter across. I have the diameter of the hole itself. I got the degree angle right there. So let's see. The first thing it wants is from wall to wall, side to side of it. It doesn't want the top diameter. That's right here. See how it's got the feature showing and it's going all the way across? This just wants the diameter across for the majority of the hole. If we look at it here, that one is 0.50. So click on that, type over 0.5. You don't have to type inches if you already are in inches in this, which I think is the automatic. Type that guy in. I want to say that the countersink was 1 across. Yep. Leave that alone. 82 degrees. If it says 90 right there because you never changed it before, then just change it to 82. And that should be the right stuff. Green check mark will save it. And see how those other dots disappeared? I'm going to go ahead and put my zoom back to normal so it's not, yeah, it wasn't as bad as it was. But yeah, that's kind of what it should look like. It should go through. It should have this cone thing. The holes should look about that size compared to each other. And if I go back to sketch 2 and I click that eyeball, it'll show me my 3 points again. Boop, boop, boop. There they are. All right. The cool thing about the hole feature, like it says when you mouse over it, is you can make the same hole in multiple locations. So if I had a part where I actually had to have, 30 holes for a specific bolt across the entire part, then I could click those 30 points I put down, change what the hole should be for that bolt, and then it would put that in every single spot I needed it to be. So that's really cool. All right, here we are, hole. Let's make the second hole, which is a simple hole. It does not have any special feature, it's just simple. But it does not go all the way through, so we've got to change it to blind. It wants to know the diameter of the hole, how far across it is, 0.5. Hey, that's actually right there, cool. And it wants to know how deep it goes 2.5 inches, so that's wrong, gotta change that, 2.5. It says it's right now highlighting sketch points to place holes. I have not picked one yet. You'll notice it's also red in the list because I haven't picked one yet. I'm gonna grab that middle dot and it'll put that hole right there. You can see it goes down. You can see it kind of looks like it's got some shading at the bottom. That's because, again, it's gonna have that conical tip to it. And that is that. Hole 2 is done. Hole 3, let me scroll down, that's C right here. It's a counter bore. It's got that feature. It's got 2 diameters, 2 depths. Those are the things we need to put in. Hole, at this point, I'll pick the point first this time. I need it to be a counter bore. Is it blind? Yes, doesn't go all the way through. So what's the first thing it asks us for? I'm going to zoom in because there's like 4 things to do again. Notice it's got both diameters first. It's got the skinny diameter and then it's got the counter bore feature diameter. So this should be larger than that one. So the diameter is 0.25. And the diameter of the counter bore is 0.75. And then it wants the depth of just that counter bore feature at the top. So that one was just 0.375. How good, don't have to change that. And the depth of the entire thing was 1.75. So the depth of the whole thing, 1.75. Okay. I shouldn't have to change anything else. Green check mark. Let's make this reset so it looks better. And there you go. If you want to, a couple options here, I guess. How long is the video? It's almost 10 minutes. I'm not going to give you extra options. That's good enough. That'll do. If you do If you do cut partway through it, let's do an extrude. Let's do a remove and go back an inch and just save it to look at it. So if I had cut it in half, again, you can see the one that goes all the way through, You can see that this is sort of a V shape at the top when you cut through that cone. You can see that the ones that don't go all the way through still have that V at the bottom because, again, they're probably going to be drilled by a drill bit that has a V at the tip of it, so it's going to look like that. But let me use the measuring tool that's down the bottom right. The depth of it from the top down to just where that little tip feature starts should be the 2.5 that we want it to be. And this one here, if you click on this, it's got 1.375. It should have been 1.75, but this one, if you notice, we have to account for the fact that we took away that counterbore length as well. So if you want to know really how far down that is, you could click, like let's click the top surface and then click that corner right there, and it is 1.75. That's the minimum distance from the plane down to it. That's right. All right. Y'all have a wonderful afternoon. Stay safe and healthy, or wonderful evening, wonderful day, whatever time of day it is when you're watching. And y'all take care. Bye-bye.